hope that's not too bad. Oh well, we'll see. Antonio Brown is not just a clown. He is not just the entire circus. He is the embodiment of the career, of the entertainment of which clowns use. Every time I look at a clown, be it in a circus or in the movie It, I will now think of Antonio Brown, former Pittsburgh wide receiver, now soon to be Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver. Sorry if you can hear my brothers yelling at each other in the back, but oops, oh well. Antonio Brown really is the dumbest. I'm not gonna lie. He caused so many issues in Pittsburgh, and many people just thought, oh well, that's just Pittsburgh. It's the most dysfunctional organization. I mean, you got Le'Veon Bell holding out. Mike Tomlin is kind of a fool. I mean, I like him sort of, but I'm not a big Steelers fan. I think they're the dumbest. I don't think they contribute much to the sport, but drama. And they're just kind of an obstacle that's really good, but when it comes down to it, they're not that good. That's just how it is. They were good a long time ago. 6 Super Bowl rings. It is impressive. But anyway, Antonio Brown has just recently contracted frostbite on his foot for going into, what is it, cryotherapy because it was too hot in Paris. Come on. So that happened, but that was far from the craziest thing that's happened to Antonio Brown. Since demanding a trade and going to the Raiders, he has now threatened to retire because he wasn't allowed to wear the helmet that he liked. He threatened to retire. Now, I don't really understand why you would do that, but I mean, I guess he really thought he had the power to force the NFL into changing their rules. I mean, Tom Brady felt the same way. But I mean, the ego on Antonio Brown that is necessary to think that you could possibly force the NFL into changing a rule because, oh, I will retire if you don't, is just astronomical. And of course he lost the grievance and the NFL said, nah, go ahead, retire if you want. And surprise, surprise, Antonio Brown has announced that he will return to the Raiders. Oh my goodness. I'm shocked. Incredible. Brown loses helmet grievance. Says he'll still play in 2019. This is from Mike Alessandrini on thescore.com. Yeah. An arbitrator ruled against Oakland wide receiver Antonio Brown, and basically he has to still wear the helmet. Very, very disappointing if you're a Raiders fan. While I disagree with the arbitrator's decision, I'm working on getting back to full health, and I'm looking forward to rejoining my teammates on the field. I'm excited about this season and appreciate the concerns about my feet. So the NFL called Antonio Brown bluff, and he folded like a paper towel. Yes. Paper towels are actually easier to fold than regular towels, so not just like a cheap towel or a cheap suit. He folded like a paper towel. He's 31. And he's still pretty quick. I mean, Is that's just ridiculous that he did that. He's a clown. He's a circus. He is the act of being a clown. You might as well turn the word clown into Antonio Brown because I mean this is just wow. That's just disappointing. So I also want to talk about this other thing. I'm not big into college football, but I do have a couple of thoughts and sympathies about a certain situation. So Miami just named Jaron Williams its starting quarterback. Uh, this guy's a freshman, redshirt freshman, who beat sophomore Tate Martell, who was a transfer from Ohio State, um, and he got beat by Jaron Williams. So I don't know. I think the whole deal with college football is just it's rough. Just imagine being behind a stud, right? You're a great player, but you're behind a guy who's about to go first overall or something. He's going to go in the first round. You're playing your best, but obviously you can't beat him out. So then when you finally get your shot, some freshman comes in and steals your job. I mean, come on. That's just. It's understandable that people don't like that. And I think his reaction was a little overboard, but he didn't show up to practice. Honestly, I get it. I mean, how discouraging does that have to be? What about Jalen Hurts? I mean, he did the best he could, and then Tua comes in and lights it up. And let's be honest. Come on. Other than that one game, the game he came back and what he originally stole Jalen Hurts' job. Most quarterbacks would do at least admirable in Alabama. That's just how Alabama is. You're gonna be great. You just don't have to mess it. You just have to not mess it up. And Jalen Hurts did that pretty well. And when he went in, he executed. So that sucks for people. And I'm with Jalen Hurts for transferring, but the transfer culture is also a bit overboard, I think, as well. I get it because I just stood here on my soapbox and said how horrible it would be for some freshman to come in and steal your job. How discouraging it is for you doing the best you could, but some other kid came in and the coach liked him. But at the same time, you can always work through that. Like, yeah, obviously you can't always work through that, but transferring out of a school is a little too easy for quarterbacks. So, I don't know. Like I said, I really don't care that much about NCAA, but that's my thoughts on that. It's just it's disappointing. Disappointing for that guy. Yeah. So moving on to baseball, just want to let y'all know that the Houston Astros are going to win it all this year. No, I'm kidding. The road to the World Series for the Houston Astros. I mean, it's really just the Yankees. I mean, there's some teams that will stand a chance, but the Yankees are the only ones that will really, I guess, kind of challenge the Astros. And even then, I don't know. It's baseball. Anything can happen. Any slump can manifest itself in any player. So so that's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. So the week one of preseason is over, and one thing I would like to stress is that all the hype beasts who were freaking out about Dwayne Haskins, all you Giants fans who started crying when Daniel Jones got picked. Well, look, I know it's week one of preseason, but I bet you're all quiet now. I mean, Daniel Jones went 5 for 5, 67 yards through a touchdown to Benny Fowler. I mean, that's a great. I don't care what, preseason or not. If you complete all of your passes like that, that's impressive. Very impressive. And people were not giving Daniel Jones credit. Not at all. So Daniel Jones, really out here, man. Is he going to take Eli's job? No, probably not. And I don't think he should, but I think he should wait a year. He could be like Patrick Mahomes. I mean, maybe Eli will take him to like. Nah, I know. The Giants are going to be trash no matter what, no matter who's starting at quarterback. But I always have a place in my heart for Eli. I'm not a Giants fan, but he's my boy. He cracks me up. He's great in interviews. So yeah, I think we got an Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes situation going on. I don't care what you say about Eli Manning, he's gonna start this year, unless he gets injured. But that would not be smart to put in Daniel Jones just yet. I feel like that's what the Giants were doing. I feel like they were taking a chance on a guy, but he's more like a developing rookie, not a plug and play. I was not that high on Dwayne Haskins. I mean, I wasn't really high on any of the quarterbacks. I mean, obviously it was last year was the year for quarterbacks. So, I mean, Dwayne Haskins, I'm sure y'all would have liked him, but I mean, what Daniel Jones did on that Giants roster is just it's a miracle. The Giants' offensive line is the only one worse than the Houston Texans' offensive line, and the receivers, their knees all exploded simultaneously. I don't know how to speak. I'm having a stroke. Their knees all exploded at the same time, collectively, in the same week. Actually, I don't know if it was all knee injuries, but you know what I mean. So, so that's that. Fantastic outing for him. And again, Dwayne Haskins threw 2 interceptions. Okay, he went 8 for 14. Not the worst. I mean, it's not good. Not great either. Definitely not great. 117 yards, but 2 interceptions. Yeah, so him and Case Keenum are competing for the job, and we'll just see. I love Case Keenum. That's my boy. And I don't know. Dwayne Haskins could be really good. Deshaun Watson wasn't great in the preseason, and he turned out to be very good. But you could also have Patrick Mahomes, who lights it up in the preseason, and well, we all know who he is. So the Lions suck. I think the Lions could be one of the worst teams this year. And obviously they're one of the worst teams, period. Like, historically. But, wow. They got sacked 9 times. Jermaine Kearse broke his leg. Tom Savage got injured. He's kind of injury prone, but oh well. So I think if you're the Lions, you better And you better pray Jermaine Kearse's injury isn't as bad as they think it is, you know? If he can come back, then then it's possible that the Lions could be cool, could be decent at the receiver position. But now I do have hope for Kerryon. Good old Kerryon Johnson. I think as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to be great. So we'll see about that. And I'm gonna call it here. The Bears are overrated. The Bears are not going to go to the Super Bowl like some people are saying. Mitch Trubisky is not only inconsistent, but he's not that good. It baffles me how high people are on Mitch Trubisky. Look, man. Mitch Trubisky. Say the name. Think about it. Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky. Sounds like an item on the KFC menu. Listen. Nothing against Mitch, except for the fact that I think you're overrated. And you're not even that rated. I just think... the Bears, really? No. I'm sorry. I apologize, but no. The Bears will not be that good this year. Will they win the division? No. No. The Bears will not win the division. I'm calling it. Now, who will win the division? I could see the Packers coming back and being strong this year. Ouch. So yeah, I'm calling it. Packers are going to take the division. If not them, I'm liking the Vikings this year. Okay, Kirk Cousins. Everyone wants to hate on Kirk. On good old Captain Kirk. You look at those games. Not all of them are his fault. You know, he's had some boo-boo throws. Some trash tosses and bad outings, sure. But it's also his first time with these receivers. And I think his second year is going to be much better. And I mean, you look at his stats, and on paper they're pretty good. So I could see them repeating what they did with Case Keenum in 2017, I believe it was. So there's hope. If you're a Vikings fan, don't give up hope on Captain Kirk. So yeah. So that's my thoughts on Kirk Cousins. I think they're gonna be all right. Adam Thielen is obviously doing his thing, and yeah. So Patrick Mahomes, real quick, I would like to speak on old Patty. Will Patrick Mahomes blow his arm out? I gotta be honest, I think it's possible. Has a quarterback in the NFL ever had Tommy Johns? I think if so, Patrick Mahomes will be the first to need it. I mean, the guy's a freak. Absolute stud. I really like him. I'm not gonna lie. He's exciting. Last year was the most exciting year of football ever. Now, I did have a problem with how offensive the games were. I mean, did we just give up on defense? Have we forgotten our roots? I mean, if you noticed, the teams in the Super Bowl, the better defense won. It was a defensive game, so it's okay. I'm happy. It's all good. It's all good. But honestly, it was still the most exciting year. And I think this year's going to be even more exciting. Every year, Tom Brady's going to get slightly worse. He's still going to be great, and he's still probably going to the Super Bowl this year. But every year that Tom Brady ages, every day, every minute, every second, he gets slightly older. Slightly older. And when he gets older, the rest of the AFC has a chance. And obviously Patrick Mahomes is he's the best thrower of the football at the moment in the AFC. So, but right behind him, I got Deshaun Watson, and then they're the two most exciting players. Andrew Luck, I would probably take mentally above Patrick Mahomes and physically above Deshaun Watson when it comes to his arm talent. Andrew Luck is just, I do enjoy watching some Andrew Luck, unless it's against my boys, against my team. But yeah, so I think those three are going to rule the AFC once good old Tom retires. Big Ben hopefully will be out the door soon. Nothing against Big Ben except, everything. Yeah, we got an exciting year ahead of us in the NFC. Oh my gosh, it's stacked. Aaron Rodgers is still good. Russell Wilson just got paid. Jimmy Garoppolo hopefully will be improving after his disastrous injury. I hope he does well. Jared Goff is hopefully still going to be as good as he was last year. I mean, I haven't even got to like most of the quarterbacks. Those are just the ones that came off the top of my head. I mean, the NFC, they're interesting for sure. Carson Wentz. Dak Prescott wants $40 million. Oh, Lord. Look. As a non-Cowboys fan, but a Dak Prescott supporter, when they said $30 million, I was like, you know what? It's a little much, but I understand. He's a leader. He's a great guy. You don't have to worry about him off the field. Looking at Zeke. You don't have to worry about any of that. But then he declines it, and he asks for $40 million? Excuse me? $40 million? What do you think this is? Who do you think you are? How about you take the $30 million, and however much, and the $10 million more you want to just give it to Amari Cooper, because without him, you're not getting that $30 million. You need Amari Cooper. You need Zeke, obviously. But if for some reason Zeke dons another helmet in the near future, you really are going to need Amari Cooper. I mean, I would figure that Dak Prescott would be the kind of guy who would say, yes, give me money, but I'll take the cut. I'll take the pay cut so that more talented players can join our team. The Tom Brady approach. Dak is a humble guy. So yes, good on him for wanting to be able to pay for, the needs of an above average football player. But you were pushing it with $30 million. And $40, I'm sorry. I just don't see it. So yeah, Carson Wentz is going to rule that division for a little bit. If you really look at it, there have been the most good quarterbacks in the NFL than there basically ever has. I mean, and even the teams that have, not very good quarterbacks, I mean, they could turn out to be good, like they're all young. The worst quarterback situation in the league, in my opinion, that's a tough one. I'm not going to lie. I really don't like Tampa Bay. I mean, you got Jameis Winston, who's a little he's a little so-so. I just, I would worry if I'm then. But even then, I mean, if you had Jameis Winston, I would say he's kind of like Cam Newton. Not as good, but I mean, that's a good situation, even if you don't like it. But you also have, I think the worst one is honestly probably Miami because we don't know if Josh Rosen's going to be really good or if he's really going to be what we got in Arizona last year. It's a little unfortunate for him, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You could say Nick Foles on the Jaguars. I love Nick Foles. I don't love him on the Jaguars. Think about it. He was good on the Eagles. He left. He was not good anywhere else. He went back to the Eagles, then won a Super Bowl, and now we're just going to try it all again? Okay. I don't care what you say. Matthew Stafford is at least decent, but he's still pretty good. I think he's great. You got a lot of Matt Stafford haters out there. You really do. And that's unfortunate. I like Matt Stafford. You know, eventually Ben Roethlisberger's going to retire, but he's here for the long haul. So again, like the only rough situations quarterback-wise, I mean, even Buffalo has Josh Allen. Love him or hate him, he's got a cannon. I don't like Mitch Trubisky, but he could be good. Dwayne Haskins in Washington. Yeah, he could flop. Derek Carr, honestly, I still like Derek Carr. Still like him. I mean, so in my opinion, the worst situation is Miami. Like I said, I don't like Tampa. And obviously, Tennessee. I mean, Marcus Mariota is not good. Miss me with a Marcus Mariota hype. If you're still on the hype train, it's time for you to leave because he's not good. Lamar Jackson is a running back. He's not a quarterback, so get him out of there. But we're still talking about most of the league. Sure, Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco on the Broncos, Eli Manning on the Giants. But I mean, everybody's got their guy, other than those few I mentioned. So we'll say the Giants, the Broncos, the Titans, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins. I would even take the Dolphins off because they have their guy. They just haven't committed to him yet. So that's really only 4 teams that don't have their guy, quote unquote. But again, Tampa does have their guy. Never mind, take them off. That's 3. Dang, that was loud. Anywho, that's how I feel about the NFL. It's gonna be great this year, and it's gonna be a fun time. I'm really gonna enjoy it. So yeah,